Hey guys, welcome back. Andrew here with Ambient Endeavors, and today we've got another case for why I think we're really living in the golden age of affordable, budget-friendly guitars. Heritage sent over this Ascent Plus H150, and it's a really impressive, compelling option in that budget-friendly category. It's under $1,000, but before we dive into it here, I want to share just a couple housekeeping notes. First off, if you're interested in a more casual, kind of candid conversation around affordable guitars, Heritage guitars, and these Ascent and Ascent Plus lines, you can check out a podcast episode we just launched with myself, Signal Path, and Mark Johnston, where we dive into a few different models that we each received from Heritage and just share our thoughts and opinions about them in a more casual, kind of long-form conversation. We've been having a lot of fun on the podcast, and it's a way that we can have a little bit more in-depth conversation about some of the gear that's in and through our studios here. So go check that out in the link below. And then also, if you are intrigued by these guitars or are shopping for one yourself in the Ascent or Ascent Plus lines, please consider using the affiliate link below. That's also tied to the podcast. It helps support that endeavor and just kind of helps support all three of our channels here collectively. So I appreciate that consideration. Really glad to have you here, and obviously hit subscribe and comment below if you've got questions or comments as we go along here. But the Ascent Plus H150 is the topic of conversation today, and it's a very familiar traditional single cut body style that has some really nice refinements and just touches that don't surprise me when I think about Heritage. These are builders, and it's a brand that's really known for their attention to detail, their high quality, and that shines through even in these lower budget offerings in the Ascent Plus line. We're going to talk about the specs and the features of this guitar and share some thoughts as we go along, but I want to set the table with some clean sound samples across all three humbucker positions. We're using the Vox AC15 hand-wired behind me here, and also utilizing the new Bad Cat Pure Path analog cab simulator behind me. Check it out. So it's no surprise that the Heritage approach is to kind of blend those classic, iconic, traditional styles and guitar models with some nice, tasteful, and thoughtful modernizations and refinements to kind of leave their own stamp on the instrument. So the H150 is that classic traditional single cut body style featuring a mahogany back, carved maple top. The specs listed as having some weight relief. I don't really know to what extent there's chambering or relief in the body, but it still is a pretty significant, a pretty substantial guitar by weight. And one of the first things I noticed about this guitar is all the contouring and kind of ergonomic decisions on the back of the instrument. You've got a really nice smooth tummy cut up top here, and then this really smooth fluid contouring down in the neck pocket and down into the horn of the single cut here that allows a ton of comfort and access in those higher frets. Certainly not something you get for most any traditional Les Paul style guitars. So that's a really cool design choice that Heritage has made with these Ascent Plus models. You have a really comfortable mahogany neck. It's on the chunkier side for a C-shaped, but still very comfortable. And I love that they decided to do that, kind of lean more into the chunky neck in this LP style guitar, as a lot of times those lower end LP styles can tend to shrink the neck in a way that just doesn't preserve that kind of classic Les Paul feel. You've got binding throughout the neck and the body here, which is a nice touch. those trapezoid inlays up and down the neck. You've got jumbo frets up and down this rosewood fretboard, and then they're utilizing a 12-inch to 16-inch compound radius design on the fingerboard. So as you're in those first position chord positions, you get a little bit more rounded fretboard that's a little bit more comfortable for that playing, and then a flatter, faster fretboard up here in the higher frets for lead work. You've got a Tusk XL nut up top here, a Tune-o-matic style bridge down below, and then a pair of humbuckers that sit nicely between more vintage sounding lower output and the hotter, more modern kind of approach. You can also split those humbuckers into single coils by pulling the two tone controls down here. And so we're going to showcase those single coil sounds that you can get from the Ascent Plus, which adds a good amount of versatility to this style guitar to be able to flex into some lower output, more single coil type sounds. Let's check it out. I don't think we should overlook the fact that Heritage has decided to use both their headstock design and their name and branding on these Ascent and Ascent Plus lines of guitars. I got into it a little more in the podcast, but I really think that these guitars are an example of the overarching attention to detail and quality that Heritage is known for. And they're standing behind these guitars enough to keep them in their Heritage umbrella of guitars and to give you all the aesthetics and the branding and the kind of visuals that you would expect from a Heritage guitar. I mean, the finish is amazing on this guitar. The attention to detail and the fit and finish is really, really great. And obviously the feel and the playability has been amazing out of the box too. So there's just a lot that I'm really pretty enamored with and impressed by in these Heritage Ascent Plus guitars. So back to the conversation of affordable guitars and budget-friendly instruments. This one lists at $699, and while that's still a significant amount of money, it's well under $1,000, and I think it really still should be considered an approachable, affordable guitar for folks that are serious or committed to growing and developing in their playing. I think it'd be a great second guitar for a lot of people if you started out on something that is more of an Amazon type guitar or a really lower tier, more budget instrument. This guitar would be a huge upgrade to a lot of those instruments, and one that I think could stay in your collection and kind of hold that primary instrument role for a good long while. I think that you really have to reach up into the probably $2,000 range or so to get an instrument that's markedly improved from these Ascent Plus guitars in terms of the fit and finish, the experience and kind of the feel and also the sounds and the tones that come from the pickups. Just anecdotally, it's an instrument that I've been enjoying picking up in the studio here a number of times, and each time I do, I'm kind of left with the feeling of like, man, this is a comfortable guitar. I don't have to wrestle it or fight with it, and it just is a smooth playing and great sounding instrument. I want to showcase it in just one more context because I was having fun with this effects pairing, but we've got a Keeley wash-off phaser and a Strymon Brigadier delay to just give you a feel for how it can kind of meld with some of your effects on your board. Let's check it out. So that's the Heritage Ascent Plus H150, and I really think it should be on your list and on your radar if you've been considering adding this style of guitar to your collection and maybe dragging your feet around it. I think it's a compelling option at its price point. It's a really, really comfortable instrument that sounds great, and one that can compete with or rival some instruments even 2x the price in my opinion. Also, if you're a player that really gravitates towards the two humbucker sound or just sort of body style or this sort of presentation, and you're wanting to upgrade into your second instrument or just kind of level up what you're using, another great option, the Ascent Plus line here. So if you're in the market, definitely go check them out via the link below. It helps support the channel and our podcast. And you can also check out the Ascent line if you're a beginner or if you're someone who's just got a little bit of money to spend on their instrument. They've got some really interesting, compelling options for even $200 or $300. And I've been enamored with almost everything I've played from Heritage. They have a track record of quality and execution, and they really bring a nice refinement and modernization to these classic traditional designs that I think few other people are doing. So thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you're new here and want to keep up on future videos. I'm sure we'll see this around the channel again. And drop any questions or comments you've got too if you got them, and we'll chat there. Thanks.